What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to another session of building some beautiful code. Just getting warmed up now. I usually work on this at night, but I decided to change the schedule today, and so we're gonna do it a little bit earlier. Let's go. Mhm. Let's share this with friends. Share this with friends. Okay. Shared. All right. Okay, so yesterday we built the basic game engine, um, worked on the cards deck. So we're gonna do the blackjack game, and so we have the cards now, and we built some basic mechanism to shuffle the cards and draw a card. Also, I was debating how I wanted to architect the different objects so that how the data flows in between them. So I decided that I'm gonna have the players each get an object from the deck. However, it's gonna have to be the same object. So I'm gonna pass the same object. We'll see if that's passed by reference. If it's not passed by reference, then I'm gonna keep it outside. But if it's gonna be a local copy of the object, then I'm not gonna be able to do what I want to do. It's called the term for it is called dependency injection, and sometimes it does it via a clone or it does it by reference. Um, we'll go into that in a moment. So okay, and after that, so I'm gonna have the game engine. The game engine, it's let's say it's 2 turns, like as in like the player, let's say the human player has a turn, so you're gonna pull a card until you get close or at 21, or if you pass over 21, you lost game, right? And so that's the first turn, and after that, after you end your turn, then it's gonna be the AI. We're not gonna build the AI in this episode, but the AI is gonna be built in a subsequent video, and I have some cool ideas for the AI and how I want it to kind of like think like a human and make mistakes like human. It's gonna be based on probability, so that's gonna be fun. But for now, we're just gonna build a mechanism to play the human turn, and yeah, and later on, I think to finalize this, in maybe in the last episode, we're gonna add like a client, like a proper client, maybe with a React and with some sort of like a graphical interface, so that we can kind of like navigate and play the card like with actual cards graphically visualized. And so we're gonna do that. But for now, it's gonna be console. I don't think you can see the console. You can only see the code here in my screen. I'm thinking maybe I can do this and then you can see the console. Yeah, let's do that. Because here in the console, I'm going to execute the code, so you're going to see the results. So as we play the game, I'm just going to run the script. Something like, let's see. Actually, let me open the proper terminal. Okay, that that looks like it. And so if I go to which one is it? So actually I can, so my code is in source. So if I do, let's see, I think it's main. Yeah. So if I do main TS, this is what I built yesterday. It should execute and it should display the cards. Then it's gonna draw how many? 5 cards, and then it's gonna display the remain how many are left. So now if I run it again, it's gonna be a different sequence. It should be a different sequence. That was the whole point. Yep. So as you can see, this was the deck before. Those were the cards, and then the second sequence is completely different. The reason for that is because we shuffle the cards, obviously. So every time, so when you initialize your deck of cards, which is 52 cards, you want to shuffle them, right? All right. Nothing too complex, folks. Everything's simple. Life is beautiful. Life is simple. Okay. So for that, I'm gonna have to work on creating inputs. So getting the inputs from the user shouldn't be too hard. But let's think, how do I want to do this? So I'm gonna have player 1. We can do a constant player 1, new player. Let's check the player type string. Okay, so the type, maybe we can put it as a second, and then we can say, sure, a name would be nice, right? So let's do that, and this is going to be string, and then I can do a getter, get player name, and this is going to return a string, or it's going to return undefined in case, which it won't happen, because when you build the object of the player, you will need to pass a name, so it won't be undefined. So I don't think I have to worry about that. Right, so I don't have to worry about undefined. Neither do I have to worry about undefined here. And so we're going to do return this name. So again, for those of you that are not familiar with how, like, what the hell am I typing here? Well, so an object is an instance of a class in object-oriented programming. Typically, the syntax I'm using here is called TypeScript, which is essentially it's JavaScript with types. So what does type mean? Well, so in programming, you have integer, you have string, you have boolean, which is true or false, and you have arrays and some other types of data structures. And I think I said integers so integers are numeric values, whereas string is text, like a name or address, whatever. So this is very important in programming, because whenever you manipulate data, you basically represent them through, we call them, in this case, in an object, you have properties, or in a class, those are properties. And then those properties have their values, which can be of different types. So with TypeScript, you are ensuring by specifying the type ahead of execution, you are ensuring that that type will always be the same. So your increased reliability, basically. That's all it does. All right, let's keep going. So we got that, and so we're gonna create a player. I'm gonna be that, and then the type is gonna be human or AI. In this case, it's gonna be human. It doesn't matter now. I can also put empty. We're not gonna use that. There's something important. I need to import the player class from my players script. All right, so that should be good, and now we can technically create a player. So if I do, so now that I have the player, if I do console log, and then I'm gonna try to print player name, it should be whatever I put here. So let's comment out this section. There you go. So it's gonna be my name. Okay. So let's do a test, and so now we have the deck of cards, right? Right here. So I want to do a test. I think I know what's gonna happen, but I'm still gonna do a test. We're gonna do some sort of dependency injection, because another thing that a player will have a hand of cards, right? So we can do, or we can be like this, hand of cards, and this is gonna be an array of strings, and that's why you do that. And in fact, it looks like in TypeScript you can also define it to be empty, like so. Interesting. Do we want it to default to empty? Yeah, we could do that. Hand of cards, because when yeah, we can do that. And so once we have that, another thing we can do here is to pass the deck of cards, and here, so let's see. So deck of cards. So again, it's gonna be an array of strings. In other languages, like universally, array is understood as dictionary. So just so you know, or maybe there are some differences, but nothing major. Okay. Hand of cards. So we can also do a copy of the deck of cards. And here's the thing. What I want is that this deck of cards is going to be referenced to the one that we have in the deck of cards object. And that's going to be the trick. I'm going to check TypeScript. It's possible that the design is not use dependency injection if I want to achieve that. But let's test it out. So here I'm gonna pass this deck of cards equals deck of cards. Yo, what's up, Alex? If you're watching this, cheers from Canada. Just doing I'm building a game now. cards game Blackjack and just having some fun. It's meant as educational content. I'm gonna do it for like the next half an hour, and then I'm gonna end the stream. Okay. So, all right. So then, what's gonna happen is that I'm gonna have an action, and we're gonna call it draw a card, right? And then this is gonna be a string, I guess. So we can do something like this. Oh, it's card stack, whatever. Let's get cards, draw a card. There you go. Was it? Let's just keep it consistent. Cards deck, I guess. Okay. And then here it's gonna be draw card. And then I'm gonna be, yeah, I do want to put it inside. We're gonna do the validation after, but assuming we're gonna get that, so we're gonna add it to the hand of cards, and then we're gonna return it just in case you want to use it outside. And that's the string. Okay. All right. Card does not exist on TypeScript. Why? This is not gonna compile with this error. Draw card. So why doesn't? Maybe I have to do this. Oh yeah. No. Yeah. Okay. I think that's how it is because it's an object. It's not an array. Okay. Oh, maybe it has to be well, let's see class. Okay, let's see this again. No, it's like this. So cards deck, it's gonna be that. All right, so I'm getting there. Argument of type string slash undefined is not assignable parameter. String type undefined. What is that? We're gonna have to print this because I don't know what's going on. And we're just gonna comment this out so I can compile. And so what we're gonna do ts node player ts, and here, actually no, we're gonna run the main because the mains can, yeah, we just need to pass the deck of cards like so. Yeah, okay, that would work. And so after we have that, we're gonna draw a card. And so player one, it's gonna be draw a card. And this should execute, if only I can spell correctly, that would be great. So this should execute the code I just built right here. This section here. Okay. All right, something like that. I might get an error, but we'll see. Actually, I did not get the error. So okay, it's actually taking the card. Okay, that's great. It does what I wanted, so it's excellent. Now my question is, after I take the card, does the object amount of cards, so the deck of cards, does it change? Let's test. So after I draw a card, naturally, the cards deck should have one less. So from 52, it should print, now it should print 51, right? So, and we can do one before and one after, like so. I don't think it's gonna work, but it actually did work. All right, perfect. This is excellent. So, all right, okay. So they're passed by reference, and then if you want copies, then you'll most likely have to clone it. So that's awesome. Okay, good. So let's go back to players. Okay, so that works. And so what we can do now, I want to see how can I add this into, so it's a string. It says that it does not accept a string, something like that. Is not assignable parameter to string. Okay, and that's because maybe push is not good. Value. Let's see. I think. It's definitely something to do with array push, like this here. Because clearly, so my, oh, no, it is a string. This is the value right here. It is a string. And I have an array of strings. So I don't see why that doesn't work. Honestly, logically it's fine. Okay, let's look into this then. Mm, it could be an issue with the definition, maybe. Mm, no. Okay. So let me double check what the card stack does. Okay, so yeah, so it does a shift. And so this returns the value. So this is the value, one of these. It is definitely a string. I honestly don't think that this is the problem. No, yeah. Let card string undefined. Okay. Okay. So we're just gonna do some debugging, I guess. And here I don't want to console log this. Okay, it's central card. Okay. 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 So far, this works. And another way to another way maybe to add to that is to do so. Let's try this. Oh, hard. Same problem. Doesn't make any sense. I think it has to do with the fact that with the return, it just doesn't like that, or it has to do with this, the way I initialize the hand of cards property. So okay, let's do something. Add to hand of cards. So it's going to be a card as a string. It's going to return void, which is fine. Or we could return the actual hand. But for now, let's just do void, and this is going to do just that. An element access should take an argument. Okay, so what? Do you want this then? Yeah, I'm confusing with in PHP. That's how you would add to it, but I'm confusing that. So okay, so let's try this then. If he doesn't want to do that, then I'll just do that. Oh my god, same issue. Okay. I'll have to look into that, but in that case, what I can do, since this returns the card, then I'm gonna have to make this public, and then what's gonna happen, I'm gonna have to call the action, and I can do player 1 add to hands of cards, and it's going to be the result of that, just like so. Cards and exactly the same problem. I did not solve anything. Okay. Doesn't like something with this guy. It does not like something there, so let's check it out. Expect 1 arguments, we got 0. So it's possible that this is undefined then. Which makes 0 sense. Because here I'm returning the card. I can also do this. Right? And then just do that. Like so. And then in here, we still have the error. Right? This error right here. It's not a summon. Oh, okay. Should be trivial to fix. Okay. I think I see what the problem. Yeah. I think it's the problem right here. Oops. But then it cannot be undefined. Oh my god. Okay, let's try that. Okay, so we can just redo this section here. So do a card. So once you draw a card, it's implicit that you will add it to the hands of cards, so we don't need to do it outside. So let's just redo that part. Okay. All right. So this looks good there. And then let's redo this part here. Okay, that's good. Draw a card. Again, we're gonna do the assignment here. Okay, and so return card right here, and then we're gonna say if card, else we're gonna log the error console. Log card. So we're gonna say error card is undefined. Okay, so that. Do I need to do it twice though? Probably not. Let's see if I do that. Actually, no, it will let me this time. Yeah, because I'm passing undefined as well. Right. So I can do that. Okay, and then yeah, it's void. Perfect. So let's try that. It worked. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, good. So So let's do another action. Public get hand of cards. So this method would return the values of the cards. So basically, it would return the cards that the player has drawn. Okay, so this is just a simple getter. Okay, nothing fancy about it. And in here, so once I draw the card, perfect. And we're gonna do a test. We're gonna draw another one right after. So okay, we're gonna start with that. Good. So here, I want to log now the actual deck of cards that the player has. So player one, get hand of cards. Perfect. So let's try this. Yep. So as you see, I had 7S, and this is the one. So this line here, line 19, which prints the hand of cards, is this array right here, this dictionary. So if you go back here, as you see, okay. I don't want to log anymore this part, and I just want to draw a card. Perfect. And so let's draw 3 cards, okay? And it's gonna be random, and we're gonna see the amount, the actual cards, and then I'm gonna do some math to validate the hand. And in the validation, we're gonna do the addition. And so let's see. Yep. So it has a Queen of Spades, 4 of Spades, and 9 of Diamonds. And as you see, this is when the deck is new, and after the cards are after I drew 3 cards, there's 49 left, which is good. So if I run this again, it will be a completely different sequence, or it should be. There you go. So J of Hearts, Ace of Diamonds, and 8 of Hearts again, right? Perfect. Now let's do a little bit of simple math to compute or validate the hand of the player. And so this one, I think, has to be in the cards deck. In the cards deck, class, because it's part of the game rules, right? Validate hand of cards, let's say. Okay, and here we can pass, maybe we can pass the object of the player, which would contain the hand of cards, right? And so we're going to be validate player. We can do that just like so. And here is going to be player we're going to do player 1 for now, okay? Because yeah, it's going to look at the actually no, this is good. Yeah, no, that's good. This player, it doesn't matter if it's player 1, player 2 here, just knows that it's a player here. So I just need to import that. So import player from players. Oops. Players. Yeah. Okay. So it knows about the player. Perfect. And then it's going to return It's going to return what? It's going to return Boolean, I guess. Yeah, we can do that. All right. And so there you go. So now I have the hand of cards. So we're gonna have to do some math now, and we're gonna need to add we're gonna need to add the values. So the first thing we need to do, we need to extract the numeric values from it. Well, actually no, we need to do a conversion. For example, an A is gonna be 11, J is gonna be 12, Q is gonna be 13, and so king is gonna be 14, right? And so having that information, that's pretty much all we need. If I remember correctly, this is what we have. Okay, that's one thing. Second thing, we're gonna have some cards where you're gonna have a numeric value and it's gonna be the type. So in this case, I just need to extract the numeric value from it. It should be fairly simple. No. So I'm sure there's a function where I can only return the numeric values, and that's exactly what I'll do. Perhaps we can do a string replace. Right, we can do that. Okay, and I can do so I can do a switch actually here. No, I don't need length. So I can do that for right, I can do for each kind of thing. Okay, let's try that. Right. So, oh, I see. I see. Okay. Never mind. So this is gonna be it's gonna be a string and switch card, and I want to do a switch here. If only I can type properly. So I want to do a switch, and then I'll do case. Um. hmm Okay, I guess I can do that. Fine. Okay, so irrelevant of color, else. So else I know I'm just gonna extract, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take the numeric values only, parse int, and here I'm gonna have to do something else. I'm gonna have to do so it's gonna be card, and I'm gonna do replace, something like this. Okay, and we're gonna have a regex here. So anything that's not number from 0 to 9. And so that's G. Oh, I see. So let's do dot G. So anything, I'm gonna trim it, just like so, and I'm gonna parse the int to int, and I'm gonna add to the number. Okay, so this should work. All right. So console log sum of hand of cards equals to num, just like so. Okay, that's good. So what we're gonna do, if it's more than 21, we're gonna say false. If it's if not, we're gonna say true. But let's see. Or we can say it's only gonna return true if it's 21, which means blackjack, right? So I think, okay, we can do that. So if this equals 21, then it's gonna be true. Otherwise, it's gonna be false, right? And then we can also say, you can also log an error if it's over 21, right? Because, yeah. But for now, we're just gonna keep it that way. Okay, good. So let's go back to Go back to the main, and here what we're gonna do, I'm gonna say deck cards deck, or yeah, cards deck. We're gonna do validate, and we're gonna pass the player 1 to it after we have the cards, and let's see what we get. There you go. So let's see if this is correct. So we have a 10 with 8 is 18, with 12 is 30. So that's correct. Now 30, you would fail, right? Let's try again. So this is 16, 7, 5, and 4. Let's try again. Now we got a 19. And so in the validation, we can, excuse me, let's look at the music here. Stopped. We can maybe, again, we can think about what does it mean, like, so 1 is to win, and then if you're over 21, it's game over, right? And so both the cases of do you have 21 or you're over 21 would technically logically be false, would return false, but one of them is like game over, and one of them is like, okay, you can still try, right? So how do we want to represent that, right? Because in the validation, we can say we can just do this then. Console log blackjack, and then here we can say else if number is more than 21, this is going to be bust, so lost. But what do we want to, okay, so we want to return true, as in it's done, like you cannot take another one, because if you return false, then it means that, let's say, you can take another one, right? Or we can do that, and then we can return false. Maybe it's more logical to do it this way. I'll explain in a second why. So when you're gonna pass, so when you're gonna call this, we're gonna create a loop, and the loop will keep going. Imagine you have turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, etc. Now, so imagine this. This is gonna be turn 1. This is gonna be turn 2. And then this is going to be turn 3. So having those, I've done these manually, but those we need to program it so that it goes in a loop. And so at first turn, it's going to draw a card. We're going to validate the hand after we draw a card, just like we did here after each turn. We're going to validate, right? And watch this. So let's print the results. So it will be a boolean, false or true. But each turn, we're gonna do that. Okay, and then we're gonna do that. Monthly fire alarm test. Great. Welcome to living in these people, man. All right. So one of them will be, so again, if I get false in the loop, if I would get false, then I know it's game finished. So I would stop the execution. If it returns true, if the hand is validated but true, then I'll keep going. Okay, I can draw another card. So we can design it that way. And so let's see after each turn the actual boolean. So the first turn I have true, so that means I can go take one more. Second one, true, I can go and take one more. And then third one, still true, and I can go take more. Why? Because this is 17, because it's under 21, right? So then let's try another one. So this would be turn 4. Okay. So now we'll most likely see a false. There you go. So this is what happened, right? We got a bust with 4. So we're gonna try to mimic this behavior in a loop, so it's gonna be more automatic. Okay. And that's why we wanted to see. And those are the cards that we are pulling. And then again, each time we run the program, it's gonna be a different sequence of cards. It should be completely different. And in this case, you see after, actually, look at this, we got Blackjack, right? So, oh, that's nice, 19. Let's see if this is correct. That means we pulled a 2 here. So look at this, a 9C, a 10C, and so 9 of clubs, 10 of clubs, and 2 of clubs. It's kind of weird that all of them are clubs, but it is what it is. Okay, so normally, as I go through the loop and each time I validate the hand, if, again, because here I got the false, I would stop the execution. It's either you won or you got busted, right? Now, I will give the human the ability to decide if they want to draw another card or if they want to stop, right? But for the AI, it has to be kind of like automatic. So here, the loop is going to expect the user input, and it's going to say, do I draw another card or not? Whereas when the AI comes and takes the turns, it would have to be automatic. So we need to do the validation, the loop and the validation I explained, if that makes sense. But there you go. There you have it. I think this works. So I'm just looking at the clock. Spent an hour on this. This is awesome. So it works. We have a cards game written in TypeScript, and I think in the next episode we're gonna make the human player. Now that we have the engine, the basic functionality and validating the card, we're gonna make the human player draw the card. We're gonna do that functionality, and then maybe we're gonna do 2 more episodes. In the next episode, we're gonna create the AI. And then in the last episode, we're going to work on the graphical interface. Most likely it's going to be with React.js. We're going to build a simple, on the backend side, we're going to do a simple REST API. And we're going to have the React.js app interact with it, with the engine. And yeah, we're going to visualize the cards and all that stuff. Maybe that's actually going to take 2 episodes. We'll see from there, but most likely we're gonna do 2 to 3 more episodes. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys around. Ciao.